Good morning. Sign up at footballtradingprofits.com/Betfair trading made easy for a simple introduction to football trading, and you'll get English Premier League research in your inbox for Saturday and Sunday. Let's have a look at last night. Stuttgart conceded the first goal. We know the young boys are awful in this competition, simply out of their depth. But we also know that Stuttgart at home in the Champions League have not won in 3. Did take a chance, got out at the 2-1. You could have got out at the 3-1 and made an even better profit. Not much to be had. I did delay a little bit so we can get evens about Stuttgart. Manchester City again. I asked you in Telegram, would you trust them? And there's your answer. Something is seriously amiss there. They were dominant in the second half, just couldn't score. Elsewhere, you could have laid the draw, I suppose, if you favoured Barcelona, which on paper would have been the wise move. Did a couple of trading possibilities at 2-2 and earlier on when it was a draw to favour Barcelona winning. I did lay the draw late on in Benfica, but it cost me about £3. Very touchy mouse today. Cost me about £3. Laying at 1.09 and laying at 1.06 guarantees you low liability, also guarantees that you'll pick up any late goal that's been scored. Arsenal continue to impress. AC Milan, another where you could have possibly laid that draw. I thought the equaliser for Red Star Belgrade was a bit of a shock. 67th minute. You could have laid the draw. And again, the later you lay, the lower the odds, the bigger the return. Lille, no problem with them. And Atletico Madrid, well, they were just treading water, really. Absolute dominant display. Don't forget my old pals, Atletico Bilbao. I've been bigging them up. Not even the special one can beat Atletico Bilbao at the moment. Touch of the old Fiorentinas about them. www.www.com. Excellent stuff from Atletico Bilbao. Watch out for them at the weekend. Having the time of their lives, along with Fiorentina in Serie A, really got that winning thread. The English Championship was just too difficult on paper, and so it proved yesterday. Very difficult to unpack. No trading angles at all. Fat Frank, football genius, not quite doing it at Coventry. I've never fancied him as a manager at all. Like Wayne Rooney, football genius. Just trophy cabinets full of caps for England and players of the match awards. But if you look at their trophy cabinets as managers, they are barren. Sheffield United and Millwall, this was always going to be a battle of the defences, wasn't it? Who scored first would probably win. Very, very defensive Millwall. Tough to score 2 goals against. Very defensive Sheffield United. Tough to score against. Full stop. All of the other matches, they were just too tough to call. I had no angle in at all. Looking on to today, and just to let you know, the website is down currently. I can't log in at the moment, and that suggests that you might not be able to log in as well. I will clear the cookies, and hopefully we'll get this sorted out by early or mid-morning. I've already alerted my colleagues, so fingers crossed we can get this up and running. Looking on to today, and it's the Europa League and the Europa Conference League. I've done the research for members of Football Trading Profits for the Europa League, but not so for the Conference League. Let's just have a quick look through. The market will give you an initial handle on these matches. Lots and lots of odds on favourites. Roma and Braga, this is a difficult one to unpack. I think we have a new manager for Roma, don't we? We won't have the standings just yet. I think it's the Tinkerman is the new Roma manager. Got 4 goals out of them at the weekend. I did point to you in their direction at the weekend. So we go to Roma here. I think we can have a look at the new manager. I think it's Claudio Ranieri. I'm not too sure. But let's just see if we can access that at uk.soccerway.com. So squad, hopefully it'll be updated. Yeah, Claudio Ranieri. So an interesting signing for such a huge club like Roma. I thought there'd be a more marquee manager, but they started off superbly under Ranieri, scoring 4 goals against Lecce. I alerted you to this one, footballtrainingprofits.com members at least, on Telegram and in the live stream. Very solid side. Now, if he can continue that, the problem we have is new manager syndrome. We just don't know how Roma are going to get on in the Europa League under Claudio Ranieri. Big question mark. The market fancies them, but just be a little wary. Hoffenheim, blowing hot and cold, I'm afraid. Don't know what to make of them. They're another side who've suffered from this Europa League or European club competition. Loss, draw. And problem is failing to score in those 2 matches, failing to score in 3 out of 4 matches as well. Not the usual Hoff. And then they score 4 against Leipzig. So that's basically what we're battling with Hoffenheim, which Hoff turns up. Ludogorets and AZ Alkmaar, well, on paper, you'd be with the Dutch Eredivisie side, wouldn't you? But the market's not taken at all. 2.5, the favourite. Malmo and Galatasaray, well, again, good signings for Galatasaray. They've got a really good squad. I don't know what it is about Turkey, but it's attracting some really big names. If you can take Victor Osimhen, who's got the choice of any major club around Europe, but he decides to go to Turkey. Let's have a look at the Galatasaray squad. It might give you an incentive to look for a positive Galatasaray performance. I really don't think Malmo quite have it. Let's have a look. So the current squad, you can see Dries Mertens is here. Victor Osimhen, I mean, that is a hell of a signing. Batshuayi as well, ex of Chelsea. Icardi picking up a retirement check. So it's a pretty good forward line at the very least. Hakim Ziyech as well. He could still do it at some major clubs. So they've really got some good names at Galatasaray. I think they might just be a little bit too good for Malmo today, but the market's a little lukewarm. Olympiacos against FC Twente. Well, this would be defence v attack, I would suggest. PAOK Thessaloniki, no interest. Man United, new manager. Should be an easy enough encounter against the Czech side, Poulsen, but you never know with Manchester United. A bit like Man City, very tough to read. New manager syndrome as well. Very unimpressed so far with this Sporting Lisbon manager. He's bleating out the usual excuses, of course, but this is woeful. A draw against Ipswich. Bodo Glimt take a 2-goal lead. Yes, you can beat Everton, but then my Sunday League pub side could beat Everton. This is the real tester, and they failed. And then they lose to Nottingham Forest. It's just appalling. So you just don't know which Man U turns up. They need a whole change in the squad. Elsewhere, any other standouts? Ajax and Lazio looks interesting, but for me, Lazio have been very solid. If they're up for the Europa League, they've got goals in them. Bodo Glimt did score those 2 goals against Man United, you'll recall. And they're very strong favourites against Besiktas, beating Fenerbahce at the weekend. I think 1.65 is a tad short for a Norwegian side, but we will see whether the market's accurate or not. Porto are playing the Danes, Midtjylland, and that looks about right, doesn't it? Danish Super League is not strong at all. Midtjylland, great in their country, but on the road, well, we can do what we did yesterday. Use uk.soccerway.com just to check out the research. Specific to this competition. That's what this website's very good at. So we've got the Europa League. Let's focus in purely on the Europa League. See if we've got any handles. Well, Porto, problems conceding 2 goals, you'd say. 3-3 against Man United. 2-0 win against the Hoff. 2-1 loss to Lazio. 2-2 draw against Anderlecht. So both teams to score is a ready angle as well. Are they better at home? They've scored 5 goals in 2 at home and against decent sides, Man United and a half. So they should be fancying their chances. Let's have a look at Midtjylland. Midtjylland have failed to score against Steaua Bucharest. That's not a good start, is it? But against second in the league, Eintracht Frankfurt, they needed a penalty, Frankfurt, to get the win. But then Midtjylland needed the own goal to get the goal. Don't look strong at all, do they? Probably a bit wobblier on the road as well. Beating Maccabi Tel Aviv, but notably 1-1 against Sporting Lisbon, playing another Portuguese side today. I don't think Midtjylland have the strength really to handle Porto. But just be careful, don't get carried away with these odds. You've seen Liverpool at 1.35 needing a penalty to get through in the Champions League. This is a humdinger. Eintracht Frankfurt riding high in this Bundesliga season. Top 2, I believe. Don't have a handle on this one. Maccabi Tel Aviv, very good defensively. RFS, don't even know where they're from. No, RFS, no clue. Rangers and Spuds. Well, it's the ex-Celtic manager, Ange Postecoglou, returning to Scotland. So that's going to be tasty. But look at this, only 2.25. Because Rangers are doing okay in Europe. Not the most reliable side compared to Celtic in the SPL, but certainly can dig out a result or two in the Europa League. That is superb stuff. 4-1 win against Nice, and no red card involved. So it was on merit. 3 of the goals first half as well. 1-1 with Olympiacos as well. An excellent performance. So they're going to be buoyant against the Spuds, who are likely to maybe field a weaker side. Tottenham scoring and conceding 2 goals so far. That could happen today. So watch out for that. Are they a little goal shy? Well, it was a 60th minute red card. So they did well to survive that Galatasaray match without conceding more goals after the 60th minute. It's going to be a fascinating encounter this evening. Normally, when SPL meets Premier League, you strongly favour the Premier League. The Rangers have no one to really stretch them, do they? St Mirren, Ross County. It's not quite on the calibre that Tottenham meet every weekend. Real Sociedad, you'd be favouring them against the Ukrainian Dynamo Kiev. Slavia Prague, well, Sparta Prague were pretty poor yesterday. I don't think I would be backing Slavia Prague at odds on here today. The Conference League, I won't be researching, but there are some obvious standouts. I've already alluded to it earlier on. Watch out for the old www dots for my old pals, Fiorentina. Yeah, Coppa Italia, don't worry about that. But their last defeat really was in this competition. Conference League against Apoel. So that was a disappointment. But as you can see, all the W's for Fiorentina, that kind of momentum really will stick, won't it? 3 consecutive defeats for Lask Linz coming in to this competition. You fear for them tonight. Or it could be a routine 1-0 for Fiorentina. They just like winning. Simple as that. Noah, watch out for the 650-year-old Noah. The lad's done tremendous. I don't know how he stays fit. I think he played with James Milner, didn't he, back in the day? Noah, when he started his career. They're both very old indeed. Been going for years. Real Betis should have too much for Petra Cub. Ghent, TSC. Again, these unknown clubs. Unknown could mean they could pack that defence. So don't take these odds as givens by any stretch. The New Saints, I don't think they're going to handle Panathinaikos at all. Victoria Guimaraes' reputation for goals, or am I deluding myself? Let's have a look at the Guimaraes match in more detail. Conference League form only. Victoria Guimaraes, I've noticed they've got plenty of goals in them, but is that a consistent pattern, or is it just when I happen to see them? Looking at St Gallen in the Europa Conference League, and this is a great website for it, as I've shown you before. Scoring and conceding in the last 2, but LAN and TSC. This is a step up, I would argue, Portuguese Primeira Liga side. This is what I'm talking about. Guimaraes got goals in them. This is what's stuck in my mind. And going back, 2 goals there, 1 goal there. They can ignite at the right time, but let's have a look at the conference. And they look pretty good, don't they? Astana, Mlada Boleslav, they're not exactly beating giants of European football by any stretch. Likely to be a slight step up with St. Gallen from Switzerland. And that's it today. I don't know if we've got any English football. No, we don't. It's pure European football. Starting time, 5:45. Don't expect an avalanche of trades. This is going to be in-play stats only. But like yesterday, you can, if you fancy a side, stick with them. I.e., I did fancy Barcelona to get the better of Dortmund. They're better on paper, that kind of thing. Dodge pots, Manchester City, Manchester United, arguably. Stay away. Watch out as well for new manager syndrome. Roma. You saw the impact the new manager can have at Leicester. 5 goals in 2 matches, albeit they're having to fight from behind to stay in the game. But Roma, how are they going to get on in Europe under Claudio Ranieri? It's difficult to decipher these new managers, so be careful. I'll see you at about 5:45 for the early matches and hopefully carrying on at 8 o'clock. Have a great day, and my apologies if you can't access the website yet. My colleagues will be working on it pretty soon. And don't forget, if you want a free introductory course to trading, Betfair Trading Made Easy, and I'll throw in Premier League research for tomorrow, for Saturday and Sunday. Have a great day.